Well, I put to One Nation leader Pauline Hanson earlier that this example shows why Susan Lee's leadership is in trouble.
Totally agree with you, Chris, because I have been very consistent over my 30 years in this career of tackling immigration, and especially the last few years under the Labor government, mass migration's coming into the country. It's not only about the numbers coming into the country, Chris, it's also about the quality and calibre of the people that we're bringing in. Are they compatible with our culture and way of life? Let me just put it to you also, the numbers we're bringing in. We were supposed to have 26.4 million people by 2050. We've reached 28 million now. That's why we can't keep up with the housing, infrastructure, water, nursing homes, hospitals. Everything is failing. And this is why people have had a gutful of it. They've had enough. And that's why they're turning to One Nation, because we have the answers. And we've been consistent with it. I have got strong policies to deal with this.
Well, that's good for you, right? And now, and I agree with you. Obviously, Australians are concerned about this. It plays into the housing crisis. It plays into the cost of living crisis, the pressure on our hospitals and schools. And yet the coalition are flim-flamming around this. That they have a policy. They haven't even released it. I mean, it just shows that Susan Lee's been a debacle.
Because the coalition are full of the moderates, and they are so aligned with Labor Party policy. Remember, high immigration also does, cover up the problems that we have with our GDP and the productivity in the nation. So neither one have the answers how they're going to deal with that as well. You can't keep bringing more and more people in the country saying that we need them to pay the taxes to look after the baby boomers and everyone else that it's now retiring. That's a stupid way of looking at it, and it's not going to improve the quality of life for many Australians out there. Now, I speak to people constantly all the time. That's the biggest issue, not only now because of Bondi massacre. The biggest issue, again, on top of this, is about security. People don't feel safe anymore in the country. And what I've just learnt myself is that we've got 18,000 people in this country on ASIO watch list. That concerns me greatly. What are they doing about that?
Yeah, the ASIO watch list, and we'll leave it to the courts, but we know that ASIO was certainly aware of the two alleged terrorists at Bondi, so it is deeply worrying. I want to get to One Nation's first electoral test. That's only about 6 weeks away in the South Australian election. You said you were going to put candidates in every seat. There are 47 lower house seats. I just want to ask how you're going with that, because I see the latest polling from South Australia shows that you've already pulled ahead of the Liberal Party, the official coalition there. You are polling 20% at One Nation already compared to the Liberals' 19%. How many politicians do you expect to get into the upper and lower houses in South Australia?
No idea, Chris, because it comes down to the preferences as well. And we are standing candidates in the 47 seats in the lower house seats plus the upper house. And it's a litmus test, it really is, I haven't got a crystal ball and I don't know. I know there's a lot of disgruntled people that it's happening more the rural and regional areas. We might have chances of picking up seats, but I just spoke to Corey a little bit earlier, and he's visiting rural and regional areas. And, look, Chris, we're not counting number of seats, okay? The real day test will come on election day if people want to give us a go to represent them. And I think it's important that we do, because the coalition down there, or I should say the Liberal Party, there is no coalition, the Liberal Party, what they're saying is they possibly won't win any seats. Last I heard was 3 seats they could win, but I don't know now if they're going to win any seats. So it's going to be quite an interesting election.
Well, they are in all sorts of strife. They mirror the federal coalition's problems, but with added problems of some of their MPs, ex-MPs facing criminal charges and the rest of it. The upper house in South Australia is small, only 22, so 11 seats up for grabs. With Corey Bernardi in there, though, and polling at least 20% at the moment, you'd expect to get at least 2 members into the upper house and therefore have a bit of sway straight away.
It looks that way, that we possibly can. And if we can end up with the balanced power, we're going to have a big say in South Australia, especially, support good legislation. And and be that opposition that the Liberal are failing to do in states and federally, Chris. And that's what we need to actually do. Prove to the people that we're there calling for accountability and questioning what's going on. And I think that's very important. You know, you still have the same old issues across every state. It's about the hospitals, it's about the ramping, lack of beds, lack of care, the infrastructure. All these are very important to South Australia.
Great to talk to you, Pauline. Look forward to catching up with you again next week.